The falling prices of SSD drives make them a viable solution for quick access storage, and if you're after an enclosure that's tough enough to protect your valuable data, then this could be one of the toughest out there, the Qwiizlab ES10UR. I can't say this is a company I've heard much of in the past, but the design of this NVMe SSD enclosure does look rather appealing, and it's well priced for the budget conscious too. If you're looking to install and use your own M.2 NVMe SSD, then this looks like a solid option. It carries a pretty nice overall design with metal front and back for helping with heat dissipation and ensuring your SSD runs cool, and an entire silicone covering outer edge. This doesn't feel like a silicone sleeve that's removable either. It feels like it's actually part of the drive itself, although we'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. It certainly feels very robust in the hand though. Seriously, this thing is built like a tank, yet it's still relatively compact and lightweight for easy transportation. You can literally throw this thing in your bag and not worry about any damage at all. The rugged design is IP66 water and dust resistant too, with part of the silicone edging covering a single USB-C port that's available at one end of the device. On the other end we find an integrated loop with a clip pre-attached. You don't want to attach this to your bag though, since it's actually a USB-C to USB-C cable that's quite easily removable. It is rather short, but considering this is a small portable drive, chances are you'll not want to carry around a lengthy cable anyways, and after use it conveniently slides back into the silicone holder. All in all, it's a nice, solid design. You will of course need to supply your own NVMe SSD drive, with all the most common sizes being supported. Now the website does state a limited number of recommended units, although that doesn't mean any others wouldn't work, as long as the size is correct of course. Nevertheless, note that this is not a tool-free enclosure, one of the slight annoyances that comes with such a tough and robust design I'm afraid. But saying that, you do find a small driver and some spare screws included in the package though, or you could just be a little lazy like myself and use your own electric driver instead. With all screws removed, we can pry open the bottom plate to reveal the internal circuitry, along with the main connector for the NVMe SSD to slide into place. And with the drive in place, PCIe Gen 3 NVMe's being supported, we can proceed to secure with the single screw, nothing out of the ordinary there. As we can see, that silicone protective shield is actually part of the drive itself, rather than a simple protective bumper that we commonly find with many of the competition. Nevertheless, with the SSD in place, a rather thick thermal pad is included and can be installed onto the top of the SSD, so that contact is made with the top lid for heat to pass through to. The lid itself is a little thinner than I expected, but should still perform well with allowing heat to escape regardless. With the lid pushed back into place, and all screws reinstalled, you're now ready to use the drive. Again, easy with that conveniently attached USB-C cable. Although there's little technical detail on the device, the control chip seems to perform really well with general data transfers. That's once any new drives are initialized and formatted of course. A speed test with the Blackmagic Disk Speed Test software gives us some respectable results too. Naturally, we would expect a lot more from the SSD installed inside, but it's pretty much at the upper limits of what we can expect to achieve through the USB 3.1 Gen 2 interface. Certainly enough to edit basic video content or for super fast data transfers. Considering the interface used, I have no problem with these speeds at all. The drive will feel noticeably warm during heavy usage, which is completely normal and part of the parcel when it comes to NVMe drives, although on the plus side, it confirms the heatsink on either side seems to be doing its job pretty well. Connection is stable and reliable too. There's really very little to fault here at all. All in all then, there's much to like about this drive. Physically, the build quality is solid, complete with the added shock absorption from the silicone shield helping to protect the drive and your data inside. Saying that, the added protection does come at the cost of convenience, since in order to access the drive you need to unscrew the cover, but ultimately this is not such a big deal, as it's likely not something you'll do very often. In fact, some may see this as added security in the first instance. So in essence, with a stylish, very tough yet functional design, Complete with a relatively straightforward NVMe installation procedure, if you have access to your own SSD and want to use it as an external device for your computer, the Qwiizlab NVMe SSD Rugged Enclosure performed well throughout my testing and is very easy to recommend.